From the franchise that made us believe dinosaurs could walk the modern Earth comes a bold new chapter, Jurassic World Rebirth. This time we've got a new director, a new island, and a few terrifying surprises to share with you. So hold on to your butts, cause this is 107 facts about Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's get started. Number 1. Jurassic World Rebirth began development shortly after the release of Jurassic World Dominion in 2022. Dominion would mark the end of the second trilogy and retire the use of the characters from both the original and sequel series. But let's see how long they keep that decision for future entries. Number 2. Acclaimed screenwriter David Knope, who's responsible for writing the screenplays for Jurassic Park and The Lost World Jurassic Park, was approached to return for a new film. Knope initially believed that there was nothing more to write in the Jurassic Park universe, even though he was still brought on as a consultant for the World films. Number 3. Steven Spielberg personally reached out to David Knope to ask if he wanted to write another Jurassic film. With enough convincing, Knope agreed, believing that the collaboration would be fun and creatively rewarding due to their strong rapport. Number 4. One of the first things Steven Spielberg and David Knope did was explore the franchise's core theme. According to Knope, quote, "Life Finds a Way is, for me, always the story." He emphasized that this theme applies both literally to the survival of nature, represented by the dinosaurs, and metaphorically to the struggles and growth of the characters. Drawing inspiration from Michael Crichton's original novels and emphasizing scientifically grounded premises, the pair concluded that modern Earth would largely be inhospitable to dinosaurs due to its changed ecosystems and climate. Number 6. Jurassic World Rebirth introduces a new Lost World setting, Île Saint-Hubert, an island roughly 200 miles off the northeastern coast of South America. It features warm coastal waters, which is perfect for creatures like the Mosasaurus to hunt for food, and it's perfect for all of the dinosaurs to live in. InGen, the company responsible for cloning dinosaurs in the original Jurassic Park films, once ran a secret facility on Île Saint-Hubert. But something happened. A disaster happened that forced the island to be abandoned, and it's now considered a forbidden zone. In fact, in the film itself, the entire equator is considered forbidden for humans to travel in. It's banned. Number 7. To give characters a believable reason to venture into such a deadly place, Spielberg and Knope drafted a plot where a pharmaceutical corporation sends a covert team on a mission to extract DNA from 3 enormous Cretaceous-era dinosaurs: Quetzalcoatlus, which is the avian one, Mosasaurus, which is the aquatic one, and Titanosaurus, which is considered a terrestrial dinosaur, covering air, sea, and land. Number 8. Knope explained that the idea stemmed from real-world research suggesting that large dinosaurs may have had long lifespans due to extremely low rates of heart disease. This research inspired the concept that their DNA could be used to develop medicine that could treat human cardiac disease. Number 9. Knope said the concept followed the franchise's core theme of Life Finds a Way, except this time it's how humans yearn for life extension, in the way of curing cardiac disease. He said that the reasoning felt valid enough a purpose for the mission, especially when you combine it with the promise of a massive payday for the covert operations team. Number 10. Knope and Spielberg introduced new bizarre creatures into the film, genetic anomalies and failed experiments, a result of InGen's research in the facility on Île Saint-Hubert. Also, note, I don't speak French. I know it's a terrible accent, but it's better than me saying Isle St. Hubert, right? Number 11. One of these new creatures was inspired by an experience Knope had while doing yard work. Quote, "I was spraying off one of those old columns when 2 clawed hands came crawling out, followed by a head. The creature turned out to be a large soaking wet bat. Knope said that the experience made him think, quote, 'I'm putting you in the movie.' This creature, of course, became the Mutodon, a new take on the hybrids that were introduced in Jurassic World, but far more dangerous for Rebirth. Number 12. The filmmakers also drew on unused material from Michael Crichton's original novels. One specific inspiration was a tense river scene in which characters encounter a sleeping T-Rex in a lagoon, digesting its latest kill. Knope revealed that this moment was considered during the making of the original Jurassic Park, but several limitations like early CGI, budget, and pacing prevented it from being included in the film. Getting the scene in Rebirth was one of the first of Spielberg and Knope's goals with the film. Number 13. Knope emphasized how important the T-Rex was to the franchise, saying, quote, "The T-Rex is the star of these movies. It had to at least make a cameo." This scene seemed like the perfect amount of T-Rex. Number 14. Before beginning the full script for Jurassic World Rebirth, David Knope made sure to rewatch all 6 previous Jurassic films to prepare. Number 15. Knope created a list of 9 guiding principles, or quote, commandments, that he believed every Jurassic film should follow. Even though his complete list is kept confidential by Universal, because of course it is, Knope shared a few publicly. Among Knope's rules, Jurassic films should be rooted in plausible science, maintain continuity with previous installments, and include character-driven humor. Number 16. For the point about humor, Cope emphasized the importance of humor in the franchise, saying, "Humor is oxygen for movies like these." However, he clarified that it should come from character reactions in believable situations, especially when they attempt to stay calm in moments of extreme danger. I also like to joke around when I'm panicked. It's real. It makes me feel better. Number 17. The first scene Cope wrote for Rebirth was one of the Mosasaurus attack on sea, which takes place during the film's first act. Cope acknowledged the difficulty of filming on water and actually joked about his role as the writer, saying, quote, "I remember thinking, oh, the poor people who will actually have to do this, but I'm just the writer. That's their problem, not mine." Number 18. Veteran Jurassic producers Frank Marshall and Patrick Crowley, who had just finished producing Twisters for Universal Studios, returned to tackle the complex production challenges of Jurassic World Rebirth. Number 19. Patrick Crowley said that they were caught off guard by how quickly the project came together. Quote, "When we finished releasing Dominion in 2022, we had no doubt there would be another Jurassic film, but we had no idea Steven was cooking up a new one or that it would be ready so soon. Honestly, fair, considering the gaps between the first and second trilogy was literally 14 years. Number 20. The producers were actually still busy trying to wrap up Twisters when David Cope's script came in for Rebirth, again unexpectedly arriving in December of 2023. Number 21. Crowley noted that a typical Jurassic film would have 6 months of pre-production, but for Rebirth, they had only 3 months to work with. Similarly, post-production was shortened from the usual 44 weeks to just 32 weeks. Considering the release date for Jurassic World Rebirth was set for summer 2025, the production team basically had a highly compressed schedule to work with. Number 22. Despite the tighter schedule, Crowley said they felt confident due to their collective experience and support from key collaborators. After consulting with ILM and Skywalker Sound, both teams confirmed they could deliver with high quality at that. Number 23. With production underway, the next critical step for Marshall and Crowley was finding the right director who could meet and surpass the ambitious creative and logistical demands of the film. A director with a strong background in handling large-scale franchise films. In comes Gareth Edwards. Edwards was chosen to direct Rebirth, and it was thanks to his proven experience with visually ambitious, story-driven blockbusters like Monsters, Godzilla, and Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Number 24. Edwards was also a longtime admirer of Steven Spielberg, though Spielberg wasn't initially aware of how deeply his work had influenced the director. He studied Spielberg's films growing up, and even went so far as to say, "Most of my films had been secret attempts to make my own Jurassic Park film, sometimes more obviously than others." Number 25. That being said, Jurassic World Rebirth contains many nods to the original, maybe even more than you might expect. Of course, I have to say spoiler alert, because these next few facts will have some key moments in the film. One nod to the original is the T-Rex mirror gag from Jurassic Park. In Rebirth, they introduced the character of Martin Krebs through a side mirror shot featuring the same objects in mirror are closer than they appear line. Number 26. Rupert Friend, known for his role as George Wickham in Pride and Prejudice, or more recently the Grand Inquisitor in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, plays Martin Krebs in Jurassic World Rebirth, a morally complex corporate fixer working for the pharmaceutical giant Parker Genix. Number 27. At a museum's dinosaur exhibit, a banner reading "When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth" unfurls behind a dinosaur skeleton. This moment mirrors the iconic finale of Jurassic Park, where the same banner falls behind the T-Rex, serving as both a visual callback and a symbol of the world's fading wonder towards dinosaurs, nearly 30 years after their return. Number 28. In Jurassic World Rebirth, Dr. Henry Loomis serves as a spiritual successor to Dr. Alan Grant, not only as a wide-eyed, charismatic paleontologist, but also through a meaningful prop, the shovel on his belt, which costume designers Sammy Differ and Jonathan Bailey envisioned as Grant's original trowel, gifted to Loomis as a symbolic passing of the torch. Number 29. Jonathan Bailey, who you might recently know as Fiyero from Wicked, plays Dr. Henry Loomis, a museum-based paleontologist specializing in colossal dinosaurs. Number 30. When Zora Bennett's team stumbles upon 2 titanosaurs mating in a field, there's a moment where the classic John Williams Jurassic Park theme starts to swell. This directly mirrors the franchise's first dinosaur reveal, the breathtaking sight of a Brachiosaurus grazing on treetops. Number 31. Zora Bennett is played by the one and only Scarlett Johansson. She's a former Special Forces operative and elite extraction expert. I don't think I need to mention many of Johansson's past roles, but you probably know her as Black Widow in the MCU. Number 32. There's a moment when, despite all the craziness that's happened so far, the Delgado family rests in the jungle. The 2 daughters, Teresa and Isabella, are sound asleep besides their father, Reuben. The moment seems to be a callback to the peaceful tree resting scene from Jurassic Park when Alan Grant rests rests with Tim and Lex before encountering a few more dinos. Number 33. Manuel Garcia Rulfo plays Ruben Delgado in Jurassic World Rebirth, a devoted but emotionally distant father who takes his daughters on a boating trip, but obviously that goes horribly wrong, and they find their way on Ile San Hubert. Garcia Rulfo is known for roles in Murder on the Orient Express and The Magnificent Seven. Number 34. In a scene when a syringe containing Quetzalcoatlus DNA teeters off the edge of a cliff, Henry, suspended by a rope held by Zora, swings precariously to retrieve it. This scene has some outlets considering it a bit of a callback to Alan Grant's rope escape from a jeep in the original Jurassic Park. Number 35. Late in the film, a pack of mutodons ambushes Zora's team and the Delgados at an abandoned gas station, in homage to the Lost World's Raptor and T-Rex sequences involving similar settings. Director Gareth Edwards, who has been fascinated by gas stations since his film school days and monsters, chose the location as a personal nod to that enduring visual interest. Number 36. There's more. The group takes cover inside the gas station's convenience store as mutodons prowl the aisles. Twisting the scene from Jurassic Park just a little bit, Isabella and her dinosaur companion Dolores hide in a freezer, using the creature's reflection to confuse it. This is a clear homage to Jurassic Park's iconic raptor kitchen scene where Tim and Lex also hide in the kitchen. Number 37. Martin Krebs' Jeep careens down a mountain while being pursued by mutodons and later the D-Rex. This action-packed moment draws from the Lost World novel, where a similar cliffside chase plays out with raptors. This even pays homage to the Lost World film, where the human antagonist gets eaten by the T-Rex, except this time it's the mutated D-Rex. Number 38. Near the end of Jurassic World Rebirth, Duncan Kincaid echoes a classic moment from the original Jurassic Park by using a flare to distract the Distortus Rex, giving his team time to escape by boat. This scene is a clear homage to Ian Malcolm's iconic flare distraction in the 1993 film. Number 39. Mahershala Ali of House of Cards, Moonlight, and Green Book fame plays the character Duncan Kincaid, a world-weary soldier of fortune based in Paramaribo, Suriname, and the captain of the Essex, which we'll learn soon. Number 40. The Distortus Rex is a grotesque mutation of the T-Rex born from reckless genetic splicing from other animal DNA. With a bloated, misshapen head, extra gorilla-like arms, and a hulking quadruple frame, it's a malformed powerhouse that crushes everything in its path. VFX supervisor Julian Foddy Vickery called it his favorite creature to design, while director Gareth Edwards was deeply involved in its creation, physically acting out its movements and pushing the team to explore bold, even absurd ideas to create something truly original. Number 41. Jurassic World Rebirth concludes with survivors gazing out at the ocean and dolphins leaping beside their boat, which is a modern version of Jurassic Park's final helicopter shot where Alan and the kids watch pelicans soar through the sky. Number 42. Okay, going back to Edwards. In a very crazy coincidence, Edwards had just rewatched Jurassic Park and written a 4-page personal essay analyzing its strengths the day before producer Frank Marshall contacted him about directing Rebirth. If the nods to Jurassic Park ain't evident that some scenes were fresh in his head, I don't know what is. Number 43. Producer Frank Marshall called Gareth Edwards the ideal director for the next Jurassic film.
He gave a pitch that I thought would work with Steven, that we could continue going and he could put his own stamp on it.
Praising his storytelling, visual style, and seamless use of CGI in films like The Creator and Rogue One. Screenwriter David Cope added that Edwards has a 3D imagination, able to envision and execute spectacular scenes with convincing realism. Number 44. Despite his and everyone else's enthusiasm, Edwards was initially hesitant to accept the job.
It felt really intimidating knowing he was watching the dailies, the footage we were shooting every day. It was like he was sitting at home and watching it. It was just the most nerve-wracking thing a filmmaker could do, really, I think.
Yeah.
He was creatively drained after finishing The Creator, and admitted he was hoping not to connect with Cope's script. However, Edwards found himself captivated by the Rebirth screenplay, both for its thrilling story and its underlying homages to Spielberg's legacy. Quote, "I wanted to not like it," Edwards said, "but when I got to the end and closed the script, I went, oh, I knew I had to do it." Number 45. Gareth Edwards described Rebirth as a cinematic journey made up of distinct chapters set in sea, land, and air, each feeling like its own short story thrill ride that builds towards a larger epic experience. Number 46. Edwards compared different parts of the film to Jaws, Indiana Jones, and even the majestic tone of David Attenborough's nature documentary, showcasing the variety of moods and influences in the script. Number 47. Edwards admitted that initially, he would have signed on if the film had just one moment as cinematic and intense as the T-Rex attack from Jurassic Park, but got excited when he saw that the script presented multiple opportunities for those intense moments. Number 48. Being a huge fan of Spielberg's, Edwards used Jurassic Park as his tonal reference point while developing Rebirth. He described the original film as a horror film in a witness protection program pretending to be a family film. Number 49. Edwards' goal with Rebirth was to create a film that felt like a forgotten sequel to Jurassic Park from the 90s. However, he also acknowledged that he was never going to get close to beating what Spielberg did with the original. Number 50. Edwards got the call to direct around March 2024, meaning that principal photography began 3 months later on June 13, 2024, and wrapped in October of the same year in record speed. According to Edwards, it typically takes about 2.5 years from the moment they call you to the moment the film is finished, so you can imagine just how tight this scheduling was. Number 51. To help him craft the world of Jurassic World Rebirth, director Gareth Edwards brought back production designer James Cline, who had previously worked with him on The Creator. Number 52. According to Cline, the production design aimed to honor the visual legacy of the original Jurassic Park. The island sequences feature design elements that harken back to the original, bringing a 1990s era aesthetic like concrete buildings, chain link fences, and bold color palettes such as red and yellow. Number 53. Cline, however, didn't want to set the line at paying tribute to the original Jurassic Park. He also integrated futuristic elements inspired by the Jurassic World films, especially in the depiction of technology. Number 54. I am a big fan of practical sets, and Rebirth included just that. Cline focused on building functional 360-degree sets at real locations to achieve the naturalism and immersive quality that Gareth Edwards is known for. Cline stated that Edwards wanted layered, in-camera environments visible from all angles so that the cast could feel fully immersed in the project. Number 55. Jurassic World Rebirth might be primarily set on an island, but the production spanned the entire world. Rebirth was filmed across multiple international locations including Thailand, Malta, the United Kingdom, and New York. Number 56. Van Dyke's Bar, Duncan Kincaid's beachside base of operations on the northern coast of South America, was actually built and filmed in Ba Gun, a remote fishing village in Thailand where the crew used a derelict outdoor cafe. Number 57. Before hiring Gareth Edwards, the production team considered filming in the Dominican Republic, Mauritius, Panama, and especially Costa Rica. However, Edwards persuaded them to shift focus to Thailand, whose very primeval landscape had impressed him during the making of The Creator. Number 58. According to the crew, Van Dyke's Bar in Jurassic World Rebirth is filled with Jaws Easter eggs. Hidden tributes include an 8-foot Mosasaurus jaw, just like the great white shark jaw, Amity Island license plate, and a piece of the Orca, which was Quint's iconic boat from the Jaws film. Number 59. Marine coordinators Daniel F. Malone, who worked on Captain Phillips and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Charlie Galea, with credits in Gladiator 2 and Napoleon, were hired to acquire boats to use as the vessels for the Essex and La Mariposa. Number 60. For the Essex, Malone sourced an 85-foot patrol boat built in Japan during the 1980s by Tokuhama Yacht. The vessel was for scenes where the Essex can be seen cruising the ocean. Instead of the Atlantic Ocean, the crew used the Mediterranean Sea as a stand-in. Number 61. Cline's team had to give the Essex a makeover. They redesigned the flybridge and crow's nest, added a rear pulpit and multiple doors, and repainted the hull in gray camouflage. They basically had to rework a lot of what they bought. Number 62. On top of all of the extra work put in to dress the Essex up for Rebirth, the stern was finished with a splash of signature red paint that was meant to match the iconic vehicles from Jurassic Park. Another little callback. Number 63. For La Mariposa, the boat belonging to Ruben Delgado, the crew sourced a 47-foot double-masted yawl built in 1948 by the Florida-based firm Sparkman and Stevens. It was a classic-looking vehicle with a teak deck and vintage design. Number 64. Unfortunately, the crew couldn't just leave the vessel as is, and just like the Essex, had to adapt La Mariposa for filming. To make room for the cameras and crew, the crew had to remove the rear mast and sail, which temporarily converted the boat from a yawl to a sloop. I had to Google what those are because I did not know what the heck a yawl and a sloop was. Number 65. For the film itself, replica versions of both the Essex and La Mariposa were built by the film's special effects and art department teams, down to the excruciatingly small details. That's dedication to your work. Number 66. These full-scale replicas were mounted on massive hydraulic gimbals installed in both the deep and shallow water tanks at Malta Film Studios. This allowed a crew to film the complex water sequences with full control over movements and conditions, and in a safe environment. Number 67. One of the sequences in the film involved the Mosasaurus. For Jurassic World Rebirth, ILM completely redesigned the Mosasaurus, originally introduced in Jurassic World, to emphasize its massive 100-foot, 40,000-pound frame, killer whale-like speed, and power. Using proprietary tools, ILM enhanced its muscle definition, water interaction, and skin detail, while giving it a fresh look inspired by a tiger shark, with a greenish-gray hue and leopard-like pattern. Basically, evolutionary biologist Steve Broussard, the film's dinosaur consultant, described the Mosasaurus as a strange blend of whale and crocodile, but ultimately, it is a creature of its own. Number 68. For the main island of Ile Saint-Hubert, David Cope's script described it as a tropical island filled with rocky shoals, mangrove swamps, caves, grassy plains, waterfalls, and steep limestone cliffs. Number 69. Producer Patrick Crowley recalls that once they saw reference images of Thailand, they knew it was the right place. We sent pictures over to Steven Spielberg, he said, and we're done, that's the place. Number 70. For when Zorro Bennett's team gets shipwrecked and arrives on Ile Saint-Hubert, the location of the scenes were filmed on Sunset Beach at Koh Kradan, an island in Thailand's Trang province. Number 71. On the beach, we get an up-close and personal look at the Spinosaurus, a fan favorite since Jurassic Park 3, now sporting a bold redesign inspired by new science. In Rebirth, the dino is portrayed as a semi-aquatic predator. It features webbed feet, a broader tail, stronger hind limbs, and a shorter, muscular neck, while keeping its iconic sail, which you see in all of the films the Spinosaurus is featured in. The creature moves like a tank through land and water, with behavior modeled after crocodiles and grizzly bears. There's like one scene right as they land on the beach that I was like, wow, that reminds me of like a gator or a croc. All the videos I've seen of gators and crocs in water, that is it. Even it like sleeping on the beach reminded me of it. Number 72. A sequence from Crichton's novel, cut from Spielberg's original film, finally comes to life, like I had mentioned. In Rebirth, the Delgado family flees a T-Rex by raft, which is a tense scene adapted from the book's river chase involving Alan and the kids. Number 73. The T-Rex lagoon sequence, when involving the Delgado family, was shot in two locations, a flooded quarry in Thailand and the Lee Valley Whitewater Center in Hertfordshire, England. Funny enough, in the film, I could definitely tell it's two different locations because the water literally changed color mid-scene. The lagoon is really dirty, but then the running water is like crystal clear. There's like no mud in anything. Number 74. Director Gareth Edwards pushed for a new design for Jurassic World Rebirth's T-Rex to reflect its isolated life on Ile Saint-Hubert. VFX supervisor Julian Foddy Vickery described it as the healthiest, most muscular, and bull-like version yet. Basically, it's an enhanced version of what we saw in Jurassic Park. Especially like when I watched it with my wife, I was like, that looks like a chunky T-Rex, like he is eating good. I should know, I'm a chunky boy too. Anyway, moving on. Number 75. For the Titanosaurus field scene, the team found the perfect landscape in Thailand, but the grass that they wanted was less than suitable, and to solve this, they had local seeds planted in the field and imported sod from across Thailand. Number 76. They weren't successful when planting the seeds though, and after 2 failed planting attempts, the team brought in English horticulturalists who used a custom irrigation system and fertilizer to grow the grass. Quote, "I never thought I'd be up all night worried about growing grass in this job, but here we are," said production designer James Klein. I mean, wait till he hears what the Wicked team had to do for the Rainbow Fields. Number 77. To simulate how the grass would move when a dinosaur walked through it, the crew brought in an elephant to roam the fields. Executive producer Denise Stewart remarked, "The elephant was so happy, it just walked around eating grass. It was a great day." Number 78. Director Gareth Edwards revised the Quetzalcoatl sequence in Cope's script to include an ancient temple inside a cliff and waterfall. Number 79. The ancient temple, of course, was an addition meant to be an homage to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Number 80. The temple location was found in a national park in Thailand's Krabi province, but park regulations prohibited construction. To keep in line with the restrictions, art director Alex Cameron had a team build the temple off-site, transport it to the location in pieces, and then dress it with artificial greenery on location. Number 81. The waterfall next to the temple had to be created using visual effects, but it was based on real waterfall footage filmed in India by another crew. Number 82. For the scenes where Zora's team rappelled down the cliff to get to the Quetzalcoatl's nest, the production constructed a 70-foot cliff wall set on the backlot of Sky Studios' Elstree in England. Number 83. For the temple interiors, the team used a soundstage in Sky Studios' Elstree in England. These interiors were inspired by Aztec and Mayan design, as well as Raiders of the Lost Ark, being the fan that Gareth Edwards was. Number 84. Shifting to the abandoned InGen complex interior, the labs, dissection theaters, and tunnel networks were built across 3 sound stages at Sky Studios' Elstree, which is in addition to the temple interiors I just mentioned. Number 85, the InGen village scene, which includes the gas station mini-mart, was also built at Elstree. Basically, they used England for a lot of their internal work, I guess. Number 86. To make the store appear flooded and long abandoned, action prop painter Laura Skinner and her team used aging and weathering techniques. Number 87. The production team revealed that the mini-mart shelves were stocked with fake magazines and merchandise referencing Spielberg-produced films like Back to the Future, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Goonies, and Poltergeist. Let me know in the comments if you spot any of these little Easter eggs hidden in the shelves. Number 88. Costume designer Sammy Differ, having worked on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom along with films such as Annihilation and The Imitation Game, comes back to the Jurassic franchise as lead for wardrobe design in Rebirth. Number 89. Differ wanted costumes that evoked a feeling of subtle nostalgia but being grounded, realistic, and modern. Films that inspired Differ were of course the Jurassic films, but also from classics like Jaws, Alien, and Apocalypse Now. Number 90. In a Jurassic film, it's almost expected for characters to get progressively sweatier, dirtier, and bloodier. So, to match the expected look, Differ's team had to create as many as 30 versions of a single outfit, each representing the stages of wear and tear the characters would go through. Number 91. Prior to the start of the film, Differ and her team outlined the progression of each costume to align with the character's arc. This involved a thorough script analysis to foresee how every outfit would transform over the course of the story, and they kind of just assumed how it would look. I guess, when we get to the actual filming, they kind of put together pieces and change things up when they need to. Number 92. The tight production schedule didn't only affect Edwards, but his entire crew. So the costume team was affected as well and had to keep making and gathering outfits during filming, working from both the UK and on set in Malta and Thailand. Number 93. Despite everything surrounding the tighter schedule, Differ praised her UK-based team for consistently sending wardrobe pieces to her on-location crews. She even admitted that logistics were a big challenge with such tight deadlines, but in the end, everything arrived on time. Number 94. Shifting over to music, Gareth Edwards chose Alexander Desplat as a partner to score Rebirth, reuniting the pair after the collaboration on Godzilla 2014. You might know Desplat by his work on the Grand Budapest Hotel, The Shape of Water, and of course, as I mentioned, Godzilla. Number 95. Desplat was excited about joining the Jurassic universe and even referred to it as a long-time dream realized. In his words, quote, "I dreamed of writing music for movies like this since I was a teenager, and now here I am, part of Jurassic World." Number 96. Rebirth is the second time Desplat has come in and inherited musical themes composed by his forever idol, John Williams. The first film was his work on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2. Funny enough, it would have potentially been his third time as well, considering Gareth Edwards wanted to bring him in for Rogue One back in 2016, but due to scheduling conflicts that was not possible. And who knows, maybe he wouldn't have inherited John Williams' Star Wars theme. Number 97. Desplat aimed to honor John Williams' iconic Jurassic Park theme without directly quoting it, instead choosing to reinvent, rejigger, and resculpt the melody to suit the tone of Jurassic World Rebirth. He described his approach as using Williams' motifs in playful and meaningful ways, allowing the music to evoke nostalgia while still feeling fresh and original for both longtime fans and new viewers. Number 98. Scarlett Johansson has been trying to land a role in the Jurassic franchise for over 15 years. Being a lifelong fan of the franchise, she made it a point to personally reach out to Steven Spielberg to express her passion for being involved in Rebirth. Number 99. Johansson comes into Rebirth with 2 decades of action experience, but she still had to learn new skills. For one particular scene, her character needs to rappel down a cliffside, so Johansson learned how to do it specifically for Rebirth, and worked closely with longtime stunt collaborator Mickey Facinello. Number 100. Mahershala Ali was drawn to Jurassic World Rebirth by the chance to be part of a film his daughter could enjoy, saying he appreciated having an opportunity to be in something that my daughter could actually go see. Number 101. Filming in Thailand and Malta was both physically intense and creatively rewarding for Mahershala Ali. He described the experience as a full-on adventure, from battling humidity and wildlife to performing stunts on a moving rig blasted with water cannons and wind machines, and noted that the experience deeply enriched him as an actor and just a human being. Number 102. Jonathan Bailey actually saw the original film at age 5 and described it as a spiritual experience that shaped his love for cinema. Quote, "I remember it spoke to something about the modern world's relationship to the past and nature," he said, adding that the John Williams score is still, in his opinion, number one. Number 103. Manuel Garcia Rolfo had to overcome a fear of scuba diving for his role, learning to use diving equipment for the first time. He also performed several of his own stunts, injuring his ankle in one scene, and worked closely with stunt double Boris Martinez, who worked on Skyfall and No Time to Die for the film's more intense action moments. Number 104. During an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Jonathan Bailey revealed he was given the chance to perform a clarinet solo in Alexander Desplat's adaptation of John Williams' Jurassic Park theme. He described the moment as a major career highlight and said it sparked a surge of childhood excitement. Number 105. Although Michael Crichton, who wrote the 1990 novel Jurassic Park and co-adapted it with David Cope, passed away in 2008, the new film includes a tribute to him. A school bus bearing the name Crichton Middle School appears as a nod to the franchise's original creator. Number 106. Isabella Delgado's t-shirt in the film features a pelican and a faded Spanish phrase, which translates to "Life finds a way." Director Edwards confirms the bird matches the pelican scene at the end of Jurassic Park, making the shirt a subtle yet meaningful nod to the franchise's original ending, but also life finds a way, the meaning of everything. Number 107. To celebrate the release of Jurassic World Rebirth, Rockefeller Center in New York City hosted a free public event from June 24th to July 5th, featuring a 5-story Titanosaurus installation on North Plaza, and I totally regret not going into the city to see this dinosaur because it would have been so cool. I love dinosaurs, and I can't believe I didn't see this one. And that's a wrap on 107 Facts about Jurassic World Rebirth. Personally, having seen the film, I thought it did a great job bringing back how terrifying the dinosaurs were. But what did you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the source doc in the description if you want more behind the scenes details. There's literally a whole production document detailing all of the cool things that happened during the production of this film, so check it out. Thanks for watching, and remember, life finds a way.